Freedom's the answer. What's the question? You're listening to Ernest Hancock.
Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you want to have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me now.
Yo, you can't stop us. Yeah, we're all about having some fun here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock. And in my last segment here today, we're going to have Mark Hinkle. Mark Hinkle is the Libertarian Party national chairman, and he's been busy. You know, here lately he's been busy doing some fun stuff. Yesterday we had George Donnelly and James Babb on from WeWon'tFly.com. Now, they said that yesterday there was a conference call, and I was very glad to hear from you yesterday about it, but I knew if you had James on there, man, he had it all covered. You know, he was right in line. He's the guy you needed to have out there, and he said it went very successful. You had a successful conversation, but tell me about it. What was the Libertarian Party's role in this, and why did you have a phone press conference? Tell me what it was. I don't even know.
Having me on your show. Always a delight to talk to you. Yeah, we had a conference call with the press yesterday. The guy who sort of led the press conference was Mark Rottenberg, who's the lead counsel for the EPIC, the Electronic Privacy Information Center. I'm formerly from the high tech, so I always have to spell those things out. And he kind of orchestrated the conference call that included Ralph Nader, who I think everybody knows, Kate Hanna from flyersrights.org, which, by the way, they do have a survey that you can take, poll up on their website. And again, their website is flyersrights.org. And I went up there and took my little vote and said, nope, I don't want to be groped and I don't want to be run through the porno scanners. And of course, James Babb, as you mentioned, at WeWon'tFly.com. So it was a really nice, well-attended conference call. We had CNN, New York Times, a couple people from CNN. And we had a nice conference call, kind of explained some of the practical reasons why we think the scanners are ineffective. Ralph Nader pointed out that apparently they're in play in Italy. And right now, they're apparently strongly considering removing them because, frankly, they're just ineffectual. One of the things I'd like to point out is, you know, we've had recently in the last year or so a shoe bomber that tried to ignite a bomb, and that was thwarted by passengers on an airplane, not by the TSA. And, of course, like the proverbial shut the barn door after the horses escaped, we now have to go through the airports by taking our shoes off. And then most recently, this last Christmas, we had somebody who tried to smuggle some explosives in his underwear and tried to ignite it. Again, once again, passengers thwarted that attempt, not the TSA. And so now we've got these scanners, presumably to look for explosives under people's clothing. And I'm just waiting for the next shoe to drop, and that is somebody smuggling a weapon on board in one of the body cavities, shall we say, without getting too graphic. And then I'm wondering the TSA's next response undoubtedly will be, we'll have to go to the airport, pull our pants down, bend over for a rectal exam. This is just nonsense. I think if the terrorists out there want to hijack a plane, I think any adult passenger on any airplane from here on out is not going to permit that. I think the flight that unfortunately crashed in Pennsylvania that was presumably aimed at either the White House or the Pentagon shows that if somebody gets up on a plane and says, I'm hijacking this sucker, it ain't going to happen. And if anybody has flown recently, you know that the doors to the cockpit have been strongly reinforced. I took a good long look at them at a recent flight. No one's going through there unless they've got, some really serious explosives. So hijacking, I think, is pretty much out. And then, obviously, terrorists things like bombs. That's the threat we've got to scan for. But, scan for explosive devices and explosive residues. That's what you need to look for, not looking under people's underwear and looking at silhouettes of their bodies with these porno scanners. So,
well, as we're getting to the holiday season, traveling, a lot of people are going to be experiencing this for the first time, and I think that's one reason why they did it now. Everybody had already, when they had this became a big woohoo, was after a lot of people have already purchased their tickets for the holidays. And so we're all going to get an education. All right, here we go. And this, I knew this was going to be a huge issue. I could see this coming a mile away. And we had our meeting with the Phoenix Police and what we got planned for the day before Thanksgiving here at Sky Harbor International. And it was an interesting conversation. It went on for over 2 hours. And we'll talk about it at the end of the show. We'll do a special segment on this because there was a lot of information we need to share. But I'm looking for what is going to be done around the country, because it's not just going to be Arizona. Like James Babb and George Donnelly are in Philadelphia. We have a lot of libertarian activists are around the country, and a lot of them that aren't libertarian. A lot of them are civil libertarians or Democrats or progressives or even conservatives that see this as, they went a little bit too far and, this little brown shirty. So what they did is they're going to have some kind of action the day before Thanksgiving, and this is getting a lot of press. And I'm wondering what it is that the Libertarian Party is going to be advocating or doing. You just keeping the beat on it? You're going to be starting to put something on the web page? Are you providing any kind of resources or legal help or a list of? I'm wondering what role that the Libertarian Party and you're national chair of the Libertarian Party, and I'm glad you got involved in the opportunity yesterday for them to get in contact with a lot of the media. What's the role you think politically or as activists the Libertarian Party will have in this thing?
Well, again, from an organizational standpoint, we can certainly support the lawsuit that Epic is trying to run through the courts. I know you're an activist-oriented sort of guy, and I very much appreciate the fact that we do have some street-smart activists who like to go out, and I certainly would encourage people to peacefully go to their nearby airport and carry some signs and, with messages like, just say no to porno scanners, thank you very much, or, what happened to the Fourth Amendment, and things like that indicate, hey, people need to understand that our constitutional rights are clearly being violated. The Fourth Amendment says that we need to be secure in our possessions from unwarranted search and seizure, and I think peeking under your clothes, if it's via electronically without a search warrant, I mean, to me that can't be any more clear a violation of your Fourth Amendment rights.
One of the things that some of the young guys are doing, I thought was funny. I mean, you can have fun with this thing, but it kind of diminishes the importance of it after you have the Daily Show with Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert and the comedian Black, the Back in Black. He did a segment on the Daily Show last night, and they're hammering on this TSA thing. And I'm okay. Do we vent that way, or do we actually really dissent in some way? And one thing came up that I thought that you might think was humorous is that a lot of the guys are not wearing any underwear and kilts. They're going to the airport and getting their $59 Southwest Airlines ticket, and okay, I opt out, and you're going to have to run your hand slowly up my inner thigh until you find the package. They're waiting for you. So this is the kind of thing that some activists will do, and that some are more willing to take that kind of action, while others, that's exactly what they're trying to avoid. So I'm wondering also, when we come back, I'd like to discuss what kind of impact this has on the TSA workers. This has to have some kind of an emotional impact on them, just like you're the torturer. How does that affect you? Something to talk about with Mark Hinkle, chair of the Libertarian Party National. We'll be right back.